All right, everybody, welcome back. I am so excited for today's deep dive.
Me too.
Because we are going to be diving into The Art of War by Sun Tzu.
A classic.
Yes, and I think what's really cool about this is that it's applicable to so much more than just like warfare or like military strategy.
Right.
This could be applied to business, to your personal life, to relationships. Like,
totally.
This stuff is timeless wisdom.
It is. And, it's one of those things that it's almost so simple and straightforward that you almost dismiss it at first. But it's like, oh, no, this is actually really deep.
It's deceptively simple, right?
Yes.
Like, know yourself and know your enemy.
Right.
Okay, yeah, like...
Thanks, Sun Tzu.
Thanks, Sun Tzu. Like, I kind of got that already.
Right, but there's layers to this, right?
Yeah, like how... Yeah.
How well do you really know yourself?
Right.
And how willing are you to admit
your weaknesses and where you might have blind spots or where you might be a little biased.
Right, and then there's the knowing your enemy thing.
Yeah.
Like,
so how do you really get to know your competition or your opponent or whoever that is in your life?
Yeah.
I mean, and sometimes your enemy is yourself.
Oh, that's it. Right. That's a good point. Yeah.
So, it's this idea of getting into their minds, understanding their motivations.
Yeah.
What are they afraid of?
Right.
What drives them? What's the logic behind their actions?
Right.
And, Sun Tzu even says, try to see the world through their eyes.
Wow. So it's like empathy almost.
It is.
Which is like...
It's kind of a weird concept to wrap your head around.
I know. It's like when we think the art of war, we don't think empathy.
Right.
But I like that a lot.
Yeah. And once you have a good handle on that, then you can start to develop strategies that will really work.
That play to your strengths and exploit their weaknesses.
Exactly.
Okay. So we've got to talk about the deception thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because Sun Tzu is also famous for saying, all warfare is based on deception.
Right.
I feel like some people are getting like, whoa, hold on a second. Like, what are we talking about here?
Well, and it's important to understand what he meant by deception.
Okay.
And, in the context of this, it's not about lying or manipulating.
Okay.
It's more about being a little unpredictable. Keeping people guessing.
Okay.
And, maybe even misdirecting people a little bit to your advantage.
I like it.
Think of it like a magician, right?
Well, that's a good...
They're using illusion to distract the audience's attention so they don't see what's really happening. And that's kind of what we're talking about in this sense.
The deception.
So it's like a strategic use of appearances to kind of lead people astray.
Yes. And this ties into another one of his principles.
Okay.
Which is appear weak when you are strong.
Oh, yeah, this is a good one.
And strong when you are weak.
Yes.
So it's about controlling the narrative.
Okay.
And how others perceive you.
And there are some really good examples of this, right?
Oh, yeah, tons.
Yeah, like in history.
Yeah, like the Battle of Salamis.
Oh, yeah.
So the Greeks were facing the Persians. And the Persians had this massive navy.
Way bigger than...
Way bigger.
The Greeks.
But the Greeks, they kind of lured the Persians into this narrow channel.
Okay.
And they did that by pretending to retreat.
Oh, wow.
So the Persians thought they were winning. They thought the Greeks were running away.
Right.
They're like, oh, yeah, we got this.
Right.
And they went into this narrow channel, and the Greeks were like, boom.
Gotcha.
Wow. So they basically exploited the Persians' confidence.
They did.
By appearing weak.
Yes. And they totally flipped the script.
That is...
So that's a great example of that principle.
That's a really good one.
In action.
Okay, so we've talked about knowing your enemy. We've talked about deception.
Right.
We talked about using appearances strategically.
Yes.
But this is my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Sun Tzu quote in principle.
Yeah.
The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting.
Without fighting.
What?
Yeah.
It's like a paradox.
It is a paradox.
But it's brilliant.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you think about every battle, whether it's an actual battle or a metaphorical battle in business, in your relationships, there's a cost.
Yeah.
There's always a cost.
So
resources get used up. Relationships can get damaged, even if you win. You might end up with a bunch of problems.
Like a Pyrrhic victory.
Exactly.
Like you win, but it costs you everything.
Right. So Sun Tzu recognized this. And he was saying, the real mastery is in achieving your goals. but minimizing conflict and avoiding unnecessary battles.
Yeah.
Use your battles wisely.
How do we do that in the real world, though?
Well, it's tough.
Yeah.
But it can be done. And I think it involves things like diplomacy, negotiation, compromise, and just a good understanding of the long game.
Okay.
So, for example, let's say there's two companies that are in a legal dispute. One company, instead of dragging it out in court, could just offer a settlement that takes care of the main problems and lets both sides move on.
So it's like a win-win.
Exactly.
Even though it's not like a total
domination.
Domination, yeah. I like that. Yeah. Okay, and I think this leads perfectly into Sun Tzu's last wisdom bomb.
Okay.
For us today.
I'm ready.
In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity.
Ooh. I like that one.
Right. And I think that is so relevant to
especially nowadays.
Today, where everything's changing so fast.
Instant change.
It's so chaotic.
Yeah.
So much is uncertain.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is we shouldn't...
Don't get caught up in the chaos.
Don't get swept away by it.
See it as potential when things are changing. Old ways of doing things break down.
Right.
And that leaves room for new ideas.
Right.
New approaches.
New innovations.
Use solutions.
So instead of fearing change, we should be like...
Embrace it.
Yeah.
That's your chance.
Opportunity is knocking.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
And that's what's so great about Sun Tzu. I mean, it's not just about winning battles.
Right.
It's about living your life strategically.
With wisdom.
With wisdom. With a good understanding of people.
I feel like I can conquer the world.
I know, me too.
After this deep dive.
I'm ready.
Hopefully without any actual wars.
Yes, please. No actual wars.
Right.
Metaphorical ones are fine.
Yeah, metaphorical ones only.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, until next time, everybody, may your strategies be sound.
Yes.
And your victory swift.
Absolutely.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.